Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to Rule the Waves 3. We've got a job to do, and that is we should design all of our ships with spacious accommodation, because in 1955 our crew quality is going to go down if we don't have that, and that's just a way of the modern times, and that is what we're going to do. I'm not sure whether we're going to start, I think we're going to start top to bottom, because I'm still thinking about light cruisers and destroyers, whether we can give them helipads and such. So they're going to be out of the redesign for the moment, but we will need to do that in a moment time. We also have the corvettes. They're going to be pretty much dismissed, since we are constructing quite a couple of new ones which do have better anti-submarine warfare capabilities, as in this day and age we need more and better stuff there. Right, so I think Yamashima is ready for the future. She has spacious accommodation, so we don't need to redesign her. But the Suruju classes, I think, for example, these guys don't. So let's see what we can do here. And what I would like to do is, if we do redesign them, I would like to give them some surface, some anti-submarine warfare. Some surface-to-air missiles. That's what I was looking for. So we're going to give them that. It's going to be designed here. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to roll with that. Now there is a bit of an issue here with the topside weight and with the weight remaining, so we'll need to think about what we can do here. I'd also like to upgrade your guns if possible. It is costing us a little bit of money, but I'm going to be fine with that. It's not going to add additional weight, so that's going to be alright. Now, the big question is, what else can we do here? I guess we can go with a lot less light guns, at least to make excuse me, at least to make sure that the topside stuff is in line here. But that's nearly 1,000 pounds, 1,000 tons that we need to lose on this design to make it worthwhile. Now, we could redesign the engine or get her new engines. I don't think that's really necessary right now, and it would be super expensive, so I don't think we are going to do that. And indeed, I think we need at least 100 tons here to be ready to get the new radar technology once that comes online. So I'm afraid we'll need to dial down on the number of airplanes here. So 5 less airplanes. That is a significant drop. But I do think it's going to make her a better ship overall. Especially the surface-to-air missile. Yeah, that's a lot of weight here. That's nearly 1,000 tons. But I do think it makes it a lot safer. So yeah, I think that's fine. We could try to get rid of the 2 of these, maybe. But on the other hand, honestly, I think 80 aircraft is going to be fine. So let's roll with this. Add a little bit more of topside weight here by adding light AA guns. And that should be legal design, right? Yes, okay. Let's save and finish. We're not going to add the redesign because I want to do that for both ships. Doesn't really matter too much. Come on, there you go. Perfect. Yes, we do want to do that. Hiruju, I guess it's going to look pretty similar. So yeah, better guns would be nice. Other than that, we do want to give her the medium surface-to-air missile. I'm going to just do that midships here. And I'm going to edit the reloads to have the maximum amount possible. Sorry about the noise here. And of course, spaces accommodation. And that leads to too many plates. And again, we'll need to dial that down. 72. Can we get 72? I don't think so, because we also need better radar if we can. Doesn't matter too much on the top side there. But what happens if I dial this down? Okay, yeah, that works in our favor. Maybe 14 guns, 15 guns. 68 there. I think we can probably, well, we can't dial down that much on the ammo. That's not going to be enough. I suppose we could edit the reloads here a little bit, so that we are not losing too much of our air capacity. I think that works, and then we'll dial this down a little bit. That means the time to refit this is going to be pretty substantial, but I think we're going to be safe for the next year, and on the other hand, it will reduce the monthly cost to replace this stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be alright. And yeah, please do refit her. Then we're going to get into the battleships, and the battleships are, of course, again, yet another beast. You think you look like you might need an engine refit at some point. The gun caliber, I don't think there's anything that we'd want. Ooh, we could go for 12-inch guns. But I suppose, yeah, we can only get them triple turrets if we're going down to 10 inches. 10 inches are quality 1. But I don't think so. Would that, how much would that cost? This would be legal design. No, it's not actually legal chip design because I think battleships need bigger stuff than this. So, okay, we're going to leave the guns as is. Everything else down there looks fine-ish too. We have a good number of missile launchers here, which we could switch around. We're going to make her spacious. So let's try to clear all of these missile launchers because we now have dual missile launchers. And that could be interesting too, couldn't it? We definitely have the weight. We only need to be a little bit careful with the topside weight. And it would also be lovely if we could get her to have at least one surface-to-air missile. Topside is exceeded. Yeah, that is true. Is there anything we can do about that? That adds 8. And well, into a little bit more on that side too. Right. Lower amount here. Yeah, you know what? That will work, right? So let's get her better radar technology. Let's get her all of this stuff here. We're going to give her as many AA missiles as possible. And I think we can probably edit with the reloads here too, to include a little bit more. That is going to make her susceptible to surface damage. I mean, superstructure damage. But it looks fine. We don't have many light AA guns, and I'm slightly concerned about that. We have a lot of ammo. But other than that, it's a bit of an expensive refit, but other than that, I think it's fine. Topside, and we can improve our secondary guns. How much would that cost? Significant amount, but I think it's going to be a good idea. You know what? I think I want to position these guys slightly differently here in the middle. Yeah, I think that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that's a proper battleship refit. What can we do about the topside limit though? Get rid of all of the light guns? Presumably yes. And right now they're not that useful. They will become much more useful once we have got the close-in weapon system to shoot down missiles. That seems a little bit far away though. What we're going to do to include that, I don't know yet. But I think we're going to be alright. Right. Yeah. No, I don't want to reopen that because, again, it's going to be all 3 of them that are going to be refit. There we go. Yeah, let's rebuild all of these. Sagami, I guess that's going to be looking a little bit similar, although these guys are set up a bit differently. I was a lot happier with these ships when they were first introduced, because their gun layout was much better, but now we don't really have the ability to play around here. 17 inches in 12 gun turrets. No, I think the smaller ones are going to be the better choice here. Let's start out with this. That would cost us about 3 million, but I do think that's worth it. Basically anything that is able to fire off against enemy ships, I think is going to be a good idea. Right, we could even try to add 2 of these surface-to-air missile launchers, which might be a good idea. Let's try to do that. We've got the topside load exceeded already, but I still want to get a bit of punch here in terms of missile tubes. And now this is completely overblown. What happens if we go to 0 here? Does that work? Not quite. We're still a little bit short. So maybe delete one of these guys. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the way to do it. Let's get you some reloads, and I'm just typing in any number here because it is, I think, maxed out at 2 or 1, and that should be working out all right. Okay, topside limit exceeded again. What can we do about that? We do have a lot of secondary guns, but I don't think. I mean, these guys are a little bit overblown, so maybe 6 are going to be alright. I think after 4 they are diminishing returns. You're also considerably overweight overall. And you are not even spacious accommodation yet. Okay, that is a problem. That is a problem. Right, what can we do here? Could replace your machinery, but it looks to be still in order, so I don't want to really do that. But 900 tons. How can that be 900 tons? What was the starting point here? Okay, minus 200. I don't think this upgrade did anything on the weight. No, not really. That was there already. So we were at minus 200. And if I add all of these guys here as dual things, that barely adds any weight. The reloads? Barely adds any weight either. So maybe no surface-to-air missiles? But that feels just wrong, doesn't it? On the other hand, they are so darn weighty that I really, really dislike it. Let's remove these mounts, because they don't have any place on our ship, actually. Right. Minus 200 tons. What are we going to do with 200 tons? We could reduce the ammo a little bit. Not a big fan. And topside load is still a bit of an issue. And this doesn't even include the medium surface-to-air missiles. 1,000 tons. We can't strip any armor off. We could go with a bulged layout to gain some flotation, but it would cost us 3 knots, and I don't think that's going to be viable at all. Weight here is around 1,000 tons. That's not really worth cutting down either. Honestly, I think we just can't fit this stuff in, because this is already a problem. Reduce the weight here. Hope that we're going to deal more damage here with the surface-to-air missiles, surface-to-surface missiles, which does make some sense. Although we're still a little bit shy here. Although 50 tons is not the end of the world if we're a little bit over it, and I just don't see how we can change this. Okay, so we're just going to be alright. Slightly overweight. We'll just have to accept that. It's not ideal, but here we go. At some point later, we might refit our engines. What? Can we not rebuild her? That was odd. Okay. Hosho. Right, let's look at the next aircraft carriers here. So again, 29. So you are the smallish things. Basically your light carriers anyway. We don't just not calling you that. 1.2 million changes to, yeah, that's just 700,000. Let's do that. That's going to be all right. I would still like to give you some protection here, if we can, and we need to be spacious. 600 tons. How are we going to do that? Right, 2-3 aircraft less. Yeah, I think that's still probably a good idea. You guys are mainly there to provide cover for other things anyway, so I think this is an okay-ish design choice. Topside capacity is a bit of a problem here, as is the weight. Nothing to be changed here. Well, less guns won't do much. You do need an angled flight deck, actually. Although you don't, right? You're just light jet fighters. Yeah, again reducing the number of airplanes, but I think that's still all right. Right, let's go. Rebuild these ships. And now it becomes a little bit more difficult, because what are we going to do with our heavy cruisers? We've got two classes, the Asuma and the Tokiwa class. Let's start out with the smaller ones, 10,000 tons. You currently don't have any air installations. To give you a helipad would of course be super useful in providing you with more reconnaissance and all of that. You need to become spacious. That gives us a little bit of weight to play around with. We could go down to 6-inch guns in triple turrets, but I don't think that's worth it, no. We could add autoloaders, but that would be incredibly expensive, so that just doesn't work for me. Could go with better secondary guns. Costs for that are actually fine. Now, of course, we should change all of these missile launchers to dual launchers, although that will probably cause problems with our other stuff. But maybe if we go without reloads, it might still work out. And this is effectively better, right? This is yeah, I think we're going to be all right with this. So we still can fit the same amount of missiles in total. It's just going to be more alpha heavy. And with that weight remaining, I don't think we have that much space for a helipad anyway. Although I would love it. And to me it makes sense to have that. But you know what? We're going to be alright on this class too. So, oh dear, we have two different classes here, don't we? Yeah, I think we've got the 54 class. And I'm not sure whether we can rebuild you to that standard. No, you're just technically on a different level there. Well, that's alright, we can replicate all of these choices. I find that, to be honest, slightly annoying that you can't do that. But at the end of the day, it's not a biggie. It's just, you know, one of the minor things that really could be a little bit more convenient, to be quite honest. Right, that works. Why do we have too little weight remaining here? You are actually already spacious. We could get rid of this, I guess. Yeah, your anti-submarine warfare capabilities at any rate is not going to be that impressive. So let's refit her to the ever so slightly different named standard. That's going to be alright. Okay, Atsuma then. You're significantly bigger, 40% bigger in fact. You have a slightly different gun layout here with 3-inch caliber guns. That's alright. Do we have better types there? Oh yeah, we do. Lovely. Let's use them if we can, of course. Of course, spacious. Of course, clear all of these. Get more alpha heavy by building all of these things, and then see how much stuff we've got available. Not much is the answer here. In fact, we can go to this, but the weight remaining doesn't really match up to that. Your speed has already dropped, in fact, so we might want to replace the machinery. That will give us the weight. This is, of course, going to make the entire thing much more costly. We're going to, in fact, give a diesel. That works for me. And in this case, we can probably even add reloads here, right? And at least the heavy cruisers should stay in battle for long enough. So I think that makes some sense. I wouldn't do that on the on light destroyers and such, but for this, I think it should work out. 24 million, that is going to be a significantly costly refit. But she probably still can stay her ground. Just the topside load here is a little bit excessive right now. Yeah, that works. I still think that makes her a better ship, so let's do it. That's pretty much all of our heavy ships being reworked at the moment. And most of them for a very long time, actually. Well, although this is a little bit not quite the same because we've got a lot of smaller ships being built here, rebuilt here, and a couple of small ships being built, renew. The Hijo, we'll need to double check that. I think someone mentioned that they don't have the appropriate layout there. And on the destroyers, I really want to wait out until we can see what we're going to get with the helicopters or not, because evidently the age of the float plane is over. But I would like still to see what the helicopter can do. And it's a little bit weird that we don't have that. I'm not entirely sure where that the research would sit. Maybe under heavy than air? I don't think it's where we got helicopters. No, medium bombers are more important. But where did we actually get the helicopter? I think it was just a random invention, wasn't it? Anti-aircraft? No, for sure not. I don't think it's lighter than air. That would be odd. It does have something to do with Zeppelins, I guess, in the mission type, but it's not the same technology. So I'm guessing it might be under ship design that we're going to get the stuff, or under fleet tactics. No, probably ship design. Let's see. I don't quite know. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how the game is going to progress. We are losing a lot of money here, but still palatable because we have got a lot of money saved up. And then I'm going to see how things are going to develop. I'll need to put a little bit of tonnage here on Foreign Station, but that should be doable. And then we're going to see. So, until then, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on these designs. And more importantly, if I missed anything. Until then, see you next time. Bye-bye.